What a dooski YouTube. Oh man. Yeah, look a lot better without that 10 pounds on the face beard, right? All right. I'm been a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? We knocked two out of three big things. um, that I've always planned, every year I had to do my own little New Year's resolution, and I'm like, this is what I want to knock out for this year. Originally, all three was for last year, and of course, I was really depressed that whole year, just bad stuff happening. So we only did one of those things, and this year we knocked the second one. That was apply for SSI. Now I did go through this so-called lawyer thing. This a few people recommended, but unfortunately, he only does claims. He doesn't do SSI or SSDI. I'm going for SSDI because I have a lot of issues that prevent me from doing things. Regular way of life. I just have a lot of issues mentally. And I don't know how this going to go because Trump's big ugly ass bill passed through. All those Republicans who sat there and was like, "No, we're not going to sign. I don't believe in this," and they turned around and signed it anyways. Seemed they had their lives threatened and they just crumbled. Only two people didn't vote. They voted negative, and there was like six people who just didn't vote. I think, or I may be wrong on that aspect, but whatever the case may be, the Republican from Alaska was just like, nah. She changed her vote. I don't know how it's going to go well in life because you just don't say something and then take it back and tie the vote. And then you knew who the hell was going to go ahead and break that tie. Oh man, a lot of people going to go off Medicare, and I I don't really do politic wise, but I mean I agree with those who are undocumented. What I'm saying, like, why get benefits if you're not going to go through the legal process of But there's a lot of people who depend on this disabled, veterans, elderly, and just those who need Medicaid, to pay off. They got problems that they were born with. They can't control. SNAP benefits going. To me, I felt SNAP should have been regulated. There's a lot of people who, once again, should not be on SNAP and getting benefits when they shouldn't be, legally wise. But there's a big issue is people are stealing SNAP benefits as soon as they go on the card, and I don't know what ring of evildoers are doing that, but man, I actually know people who've had their SNAP gone, and these are people who got like families of like 4 or 5, and they depend on this. And as soon as they get paid, if they don't go to their store to get their food, their benefits get ripped by somebody in New York or Chicago, and there's other places. But I'm just saying, like, that's the two I know off the top of my head. And how? I don't understand that process. How is elaborate is that? But anywho's, I'm going for SSDI. Hopefully that goes through. It's been over 30 some days. They should have already went to step 3, but it's still at step 2. I don't understand that process. It says it can take to 200 to 300 days. For Georgia, it's even longer. So I have no idea how that's going to go through. But if that goes through, it takes a lot of weight away from me, because I got like, well, we're not gonna get into it. I've mentioned it before, So besides that, I'm doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Taking steps to further myself. Pokemon wise, we're still able to get some things, not a lot, but I'm able to get some things from Walmart or Target. That's the only two places. I got the Charizard, and the card changes. Believe it or not, it's like a Vinicle. I forgot the term, but like, we got these two here, and somehow they're releasing stuff that's like way over. They shouldn't be popping out. These new boxes that come out that's like premium, and they're from older sets. Some of them. But World of Pokemon, it is in crap. It is in shit fire. Okay, because you got your overpriced merchants still getting away, your scalpers, and this should have been nipped in the bud already, and it's not. Who wants to pay $100, $129 for a ETB, $260 to $300 for a booster box? All these overpriced, and you know why? Because some of these retail people who are getting the Pokemon stuff stopped selling online. They say you gotta come to the store. Some people don't have store access, or it's way on the other side, or there's not one in the area for them, you know? So that just kills off a lot of options. Like I said, Target, Walmart are like the main two. Amazon is price scalping everything. Like, I don't understand how they're getting away with it. The BBB ain't doing nothing. I mean, like, how are you getting away from doubling the price as the scalper prices with Amazon? I'm lost for words. That was the biggest place to get Pokemon stuff, and no more, because it's double the price. So sometimes you can. It's hard, with Walmart and Target. But like I said, Blue Moon, you may be able to get some things, but we got some black and white pre-orders in. But I mean, like, I can't get nothing from Destined Rivals. I can't get nothing from Journey's End. Those are two regular sets right there. Prismatic was just a letdown, because with the little we did get, the hits are just crap. Pokemon need to be ashamed of themselves. And Pokemon people, like, they need to be sued on that. I mean, like, they can't get away with doing stuff like this. There's another set that's just like, Surge and Spark, yeah, they all that Wave 2, 3, and reprints, gone. So all that, like I said, 4 sets to be messed up, Now if they just let these next 3-4 sets, regular sets, there may be a chance to go ahead and go back down to regular prices, because those are the sets that's not going to sell no more, because this big 4 or 5 sets they put out that had some good stuff people wanted, that's going to go through the cycle. But I mean, like, at what cost, There's going to be, like, collectors who just missing that, because they don't got the money for that. I'm really scratching the nuke of sacrificing, like, certain foods to, I'm like, well, I can eat some bologna sandwiches in the meantime to save up, and then I'm able to get this or that, but who wants to sacrifice by paying double, triple prices, Because like I said, Amazon's price scalping. I mean, like, I don't have no Elite Trainer boxes for Destined or Journey's End. In fact, we don't even have the Pokemon Center Destined End, so oh no, state of Pokemon. Like I said, I'm trying to find something to be the alternative fix, to help me mentally wise, because it does help with my PTSD, but at the same time, this is attributing to the PTSD. But I need something to replace. I'm not going Disney Lacana, because I hate how they went through their process, and even so, they got a new card, to try to combat the terrible hits they had for their special card. It's just yikes, it just wasn't worth it unless you got deep pockets if you're rich, or if you just got somebody in the family who's a card dealer, or you just went and become a card dealer yourself, and you can just open it up and sell singles by, that's what a lot of people do. But besides that, this year's going by pretty fast, we're in the 7th month already, July. I am getting a little bit scared because September coming around, and the end of September last year is when we had that hurricane hit, and that did a lot of damage, and it messed a lot of people up mentally wise, because we don't get hurricanes, tornadoes like that here, We may get like a big storm, but this year and last year, I don't know what's going on. Something like usually we get heat lightning or a little small rain. We've got some big thunderstorms and like powerful wind gusts that have been doing some damage. I mean, that's crazy. We've never had stuff like that. Now, that-wise, that's what we have going on with me. Just a quick update, Let's see what we got. It's a little bit late. I understand Chris and Diego and all that. I had to contact them. It'd be nice if we could like emails to let us know, hey, this hasn't come to the warehouse yet. It's going to be late. Um, but I understand certain cases. It's just like I get scared because I seen a lot of subscription boxes get canceled. They go through their issues that seem similar like this and then gone. Nerd block, none of that. They had the nerd block, the horror block, like different sci-fi block. Those are gone. They were taking advantage of everything there. And they finally collapsed inwards. Loot Crate, they stopped their extra stuff. They used to have an anime one that was pretty good, anime box, and that's gone. They just only got two now: the regular Loot Crate and excuse me, was a loot box. Yeah, loot crate, and it's in their fright crate. The fright crate is a little bit more than their loot box. I just don't do it no more because their T-shirts sometimes was a hit or miss, but now it's like more miss compared to like hit. Some of the items, that merchandise they put in there is just for like name brand wise, and there's nothing useful. Saying salt, pepper shakers, a mug. Just certain things that I would never use. So that's just wasteful money. So I've been stopped with the loot crate for a lot while. Japan crate is gone. Can you believe that? But I mean, hey, they stopped with putting drinks in. The items were getting smaller and just crappier. Um, Finally, they went and sold off to another company, and they said, "Oh, this is gonna save us." I knew things were gonna go bad when they got rid of all their mascots, but then they got rid of Loot Crate altogether at the end. I mean, Japan Crate, because even with the new company, the sales were pretty bad. Their special crates were kind of selling, but at the same time, I think their Assassin's Creed one they banked on did terrible. And finally, they just couldn't do it no more. Japan crate gone. So I got Tokyo Treat, but they're going doing the same process. There's no drinks ever in there again. And they had the deluxe thing, so they could add little cakes. This month had no cake in there. And they shrunk the box, without letting people know, so it don't even feel like a special thing. Their ramens never have nice bowls in there. Having about 3-4 big items is not like one or two maybe, and it's not limited or special from Japan stuff. I mean, this stuff you can get from the Asian store, but I'm hoping Tokyo Treat does not go out the same way. That's like one of the last subscription boxes I got. But let's see what we got here. I just wanted to do it because I haven't done a video in a while to give a little update. We got the HorrorPack. Even HorrorPack used to have a horror subscription box, and that, whatever case may be, it's sad because that's where I used to get my room magazine from. Alright, so I think the horror limited edition is what held them off. That what took forever to get to the place. I may be wrong. I don't know what was holding them off, but hopefully things go back on smoothly for them for a while. But let's see what we got. We got some good stuff though. We got a IFC title, and like I said, I feel so comfortable holding back from getting these IFC titles because now they're popping up in this horror packs. We got Carnage Park. Don't got that. I only had maybe like 2 or 3 in my collection, but all the stuff we've been getting here, I didn't have. And like I said, if it has a slipcover, I can probably track down, depending how the merchant is, because some of these merchants now think they got buku, they got gold, But this is a double cover, so I'm pretty sure there's a slipcover for this somewhere out there. So I know nothing about this, so this is definitely a blind watch for me. Here we got some from Shout. I don't think this is from their numbered collection. I may be wrong, I don't know, but if there is, then there's gonna be a, well, actually it would have been down here in a different color, like a little cut part right there, this different color with a number, and this seems to be a regular Shout release. Hunters. There may be a slipcover for this. I don't know. We had to go out and take a look. But another blind one. Mine did have some battle damage right here. I can push down in here. It came with some battle damage, but that's okay. And here's something I didn't even know was out. Deep Blue Sea 2. Oh man. Now I looked at it back to see who all cast in here. So this definitely seems like one of those B horror movies, you know, that's not as good as the first one, and it took a little bit rushed to make out. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if this has a slipcover or not. All of them have to, like, you know, certain type of degree of heat warps the plastic part in the thing that holds the artwork in. So it's a little bit crumbled, but I'm okay with that, you know. But Deep Blue Sea 2, I didn't even know existed. Kind of like when you go look at certain things like Amityville Horror, how many different versions there are. I mean, like, they got a Karen Amityville, you know. What's another one that got like so many exclusives that you didn't know? Paranormal Activity got so many. Leprechaun had those two from the hoods. But you know, some that just has so many sequels and you never knew about it, you know, like, oh man, how many of those did they have, you know? So here's a part 2, you know. If there's a part 3, I have no idea. But regardless, 3 blind watches. That's awesome. And here is the HorrorPack limited edition right here. Cruel Summer 3. Now, is this one of these movies that's just a part 3? There is no 1 and 2, you know, that just confuses you until you're like, what's going on? There's no Cruel Summer 1 or 2. Is there a prequel of this movie that was maybe a different title? And then they was like, okay, Cruel Summer 3 is the sequel to this other different title name. I don't know. But regardless, it is another blind watch. So I'm thinking this is what held them off. This took a while to get to the warehouse. But I mean, like, look how many we have. 109 limited editions. You know, number 109 right here. So I'm always grateful when companies can keep going, you know. That is strong enough to keep going year per year per year. Hopefully, HorrorPack keeps going through for another 5-6 plus years, you know. Because this really, like I said, does wonders for me to, you know, get, you know, something to look forward to every month. It is kind of late, but like I said, some things I can forgive, you know, as long as it's not going to be a foreshadow of the company going down. I hope that's not the case, you know. But I'm happy. So as a new collector or old collector, I think all 4 should be fantastic for you. Maybe you have 1 being Deep Blue Sea 2, but somebody like me, I don't think we even have that in the collection. So all 4 nice titles, you know. I'm happy with it. Hopefully y'all happy with it. I know this movie is a little bit, or however you want to call this, a little bit long, but regardless, it's good to give you some updates in the beginning. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave some likes, some comments, definitely hit that bell to subscribe, and always enjoy.